Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. West Ham United won, Chelsea won, and I mean it's a game where I think it's a point that does nothing for either side. It doesn't because it doesn't really help West Ham in terms of like getting out of that relegation zone. Getting out really far away from the relegation zone, and it doesn't really help Chelsea's top four case, does it? But I mean, you got to say Chelsea on balance of play. I mean, the first 20-30 minutes, they were really, really good. They were the better side by far. And they had the ball 3 times in the net. Only one of those was a goal. I'm surprised the Havertz one. I need to look at that one more closely because I know it was given offside, the third one. I mean, the first one was offside. You could tell that it was clearly offside, tight, but he was offside. The second one was obviously the goal. And then the third Havertz goal. Look, it looked to me like it was onside, but then they showed the lines. I don't know what was going on there. But anyway, it was offside. But nonetheless, they look good, and then suddenly they faded away. They just faded away as the game went on. I don't know what happened. I mean, I kind of have theories of it, but you're not sure what happened there. They just started not looking as much of an attacking force as they did. So that's something for Paulo to work on. But that goal that they got, Chelsea, that was a really well worked goal, and I think it's one of those where this might be the template of the future for Chelsea in the way that they played. It was a nice little win back, and the Mudryk won the ball back. He plays it to Enzo. It's a wonderful pass from Enzo, by the way, just so beautifully well weighted. And then it's a nice touch from Joao Felix. Those are the kind of goals that you like to see. If you're a football connoisseur, you like to see those goals. The ones that you smash into the net, they're always fun to watch. But these are the ones that are really, you can appreciate the artistry in the goal. And that was a really artistic goal from Joao Felix. And it's 1-0. And I thought at that point, Chelsea were just going to go rampant the way they were playing. They would just, cut West Ham open, maybe win this by 2-0, 3-0, something. But it just looked like, I think the one trick that they had was they were keeping on playing these balls over the top. They were keeping on trying to cut through. I think West Ham got an idea of it. They said, fine, we're going to drop a little bit deeper and we're not going to let you do that. And so, or we're going to try and catch you offside. So they tried to do two things. I think after the third Havertz chance, of the one that Havertz had, I don't think there were a lot of clear-cut openings that Chelsea had. They had fashioned some chances, but they have any clear-cut openings where you thought, oh my God, how did he miss that? So I think that's where West Ham, I think, kind of figured what was going on in their justice. So credit to David Moyes for doing that. And then the West Ham goal comes out of nothing, really. It's a bit of sustained spell of possession. I mean, to see it comes out of nothing it would not be the right thing. I think it's something it's a kind of goal that you don't expect Chelsea to concede. It was a sustained period of West Ham possession, but they were not going anywhere with it until Souček puts the ball in the box. It's a very poor cross, to be honest, but Jared Bowen makes something of it. He says, fine, I'm going to do something, but then he just flicks it on. And it may have been meant for Antonio, but credit to Emerson, he just goes in past Reece James on that side. And I think Madueke. James and Madueke were both kind of just got static a little bit. Emerson just went past both of them, and it's a scuff finish. But because he's so close to the goal, because that run is so good, and because he gets into a good position, even the scuff shot goes in, and it's a 1-1. Poor defending from Chelsea, and you just kind of felt like the body language from Chelsea was a little bit down after that goal, like almost like, here we go again. Because winning is a habit, and sometimes not winning also becomes a habit, and you get used to not winning. And Chelsea have not won for a while. And therefore you sometimes feel like, do they have the mental strength to get back into it? It's still a young side. It's an expensive side, but it's a young side. But I mean, that you expect more. And I think the issue was Cucurella on the left hand side. I think he was a weak link in that team for sure. He was a weak link beyond anybody else, because I think everybody else had average performances, strong performances. Cucurella, there was nothing redeeming to that. I don't think he was the difference when Chilwell came on was so stark. You could even easily tell, yeah, Cucurella is off. And Chilwell's come on, because one of the first contributions was making that big cross that he put in, which probably might have been made more of, but it went wide. And then, of course, he was also found himself inside. He found himself kind of through on goal. I don't know what he was doing there. He was actually through on goal, but for some reason he probably didn't have the confidence with the shot, so he tried to put a pass instead, but it's actually kind of through on goal. So, but you notice as soon as Cucurella came on and Chilwell came on, Chelsea suddenly became more enterprising. I thought Reece James offensively had a good game as well on that right hand side. When he was allowed to have the ball and he was allowed to create some chances, he was looking good. They didn't get him in the game as much as they would have liked offensively. So I still feel the issue for Chelsea right now is the fact they need to get that combination right. And it's a new team. It's a brand new team. It's going to take time for all of them to gel together. I mean, if you look at the number of players now, the new players that have come in, that's something that they're going to have to work out. But the talent is there. The potential is there. The talent is there. I think the next 3-4 months will just be about gelling as a team. I think next season they'll probably make a sustained push towards whatever their objectives are. And I do want to make a point about Enzo Fernandez. I don't think Enzo Fernandez the man of the match, and I thought he was fantastic. And I think over time we'll probably say the 110 or 150 million pounds, whatever they paid for him, is going to look like pocket change because he's so fantastic to watch. He's such a brilliant player to watch. But what I liked today was he didn't play as a lone CDM. That's credit to Potter. I think he realized you can't play him as a lone CDM, which he did against Fulham. He played him as in a 4-2-3-1. He played him as one in a double pivot, and I think that is his best role, where he's allowed the freedom to decide whether he wants to drop deep or whether he wants to go forward. I think as a lone CDM, he's kind of restricted in what he can do. But when you play him in a double pivot, he can kind of go, right, it's my turn to go forward or I can stay back. And he has that option. I think Loftus-Cheek kind of complemented it well. They probably will want another CDM in that role so that Fernandez has more freedom. But for now, I think playing a double pivot alongside someone else who can perform that same role, I think that's the best bet that they're going to get right now to get the best out of him. But I thought he was really good today. I like watching him. And I think Mudryk as well was good in patches. Needs a little bit more work, I think, in terms of in terms of his decision making. But it was good. It was a better game than he had against Fulham, and I think the same could be said for Madueke. Also had a good game. I don't think that's the thing. I don't think anybody at Chelsea, aside from Cucurella, I don't think you can pick out anyone and say they played badly. I think the issue was just that I think Havertz probably could have done more, but he's on a natural striker. So if they had a natural striker in his place, maybe they could have got more. I think a lot of it was just 6.5 out of 10s. And I think that's what it is. You can't have that many. You need someone to grab the game by the scuff and they can just go, right, I'm gonna make things happen. I thought Joao Felix could have done that. He was looking good. That's his best position as well. Joao Felix is a number 10 behind Havertz, I think, or another striker. That's why he's got to play. And I think he looked really good pulling the strings. Where that leaves Mason Mount is an interesting question for another day to ask. But I thought Havertz looked good sorry, not Havertz. Felix looked good in that sort of number 10 role where he was just pulling the strings. I thought he was probably the next best player after Enzo Fernandez. But it's just about gelling together as a team for Chelsea and I think figuring out what they want. I mean, West Ham's perspective, I mean, Coufal, either he really was tenacious. Probably could have been sent off as well, or probably could have got a yellow card early. I like watching Bowen. Antonio, for me, didn't they do much? And then there was that penalty shout, wasn't it, on handball? And I thought that should have been handball on WHUCHE. That should have been handball. It really should have been handball. And I don't know why that was not given, but for me that was handball. The moment I saw it, was like, yeah, he's kind of moved his hand towards it, so it should be given handball. But I can understand if it's not given by the ref, it's not going to be overturned by VAR. So it's more on the ref, it's more on Boston rather than on VAR. But that was that. And then that second goal, which everybody thought might have won it for West Ham, that they put in the back of the net. But as soon as the ball went in from Emerson, I was like, Rice is offside. He's got to be offside. They didn't give it, but I thought, yeah, Rice is offside. He looked offside to me as soon as the ball was played. I didn't even need VAR to look at it. From the angle that I was looking, I was like, this guy's offside. I was surprised it wasn't given right away. But nonetheless, a point there for West Ham. I think they'll be the happier team. It's Chelsea, so you take the point when you can get it. The slightly happier team. It doesn't do much for them, but at least they get a point from it. And Chelsea were disappointed because that's now 2 draws in a row. And they need to start picking up wins soon, just to get themselves the rhythm, even if it's not about top 4. But I still think they're in the race for top 4. But even if they were not, they do need to pick wins up just to build some momentum. So anyway, let me know what you thought of the game. Of course, share your thoughts. I always love to hear from you. Do smash a like if you enjoyed this video, and smash a like if Enzo Fernandez was your man of the match. And do subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.